Welcome in, everybody, or welcome in, bearded geek, Greek, bearded geek gaming. Welcome in, thanks for being here. We are getting started, giving the game a little bit of time to. Character 114 not found in texture font. That's super weird. Welcome in, hey, Whiskey Creek Farms, hey, Mount Hossman. We're gonna get started. We just started the game. We're coming in, jumping in. How's it going? Jumping into Hutan Pantai. This because the Can You Survive series. And, no, I think so far I'm surviving. I guess, sort of, depending on how you look at it. Press the button. Wheel cam. Holy crap. That's messed up. That's messed up. Looks like our wheel cam got destroyed. And is not working. There we go. Sorry. Is there a way to transform? Fit to screen. There we go. Transform, rotate clockwise. There. Whoops. Transform, rotate 180. Cool. We got the wheel cam back. Looks weird. Don't care. How's it going? Welcome everybody. Let's click into the game and let's see what's going on. Today is the day of Giants' success and God rays, or whoops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Fix the camera since I'm farther away. Welcome in, thanks for being here. How's it going, everybody? My name is Josh, this is Gaming Drudge channel, and I just had to fix all my video settings because things got messed up. And for some reason the pallets are not stacking, and I think it's because of this little monkey business right here. I'm going to have to delete that from the map. Because these are stacking perfectly fine. Well, for the most part. But these ones are just not stacking at all. And we're going to have to sell some mushrooms today. So, we're going to do that today. And first, we're going to jump over to this guy. And we're just going to get going on harvesting our field. We need a truck to help us. It's time to harvest our spinach for the second time. Now, we've actually only harvested spinach once before, which was using our custom spinach harvester, because we're starting from scratch-ish, and we don't want to, like, own everything. Why am I using... Like, why am I driving with a keyboard when I have a wheel? You can't buy a $500,000 harvester just because, you know, the game tells you to. Or the game doesn't tell you to, depending on how you look at it. So, we're going to get going on this thing. And then we have a couple contracts we can do. We can do some hoeing and cultivating. Fortunately, all of those require this tractor. We only have really one tractor. The other tractor can't do very much. But, you know, that's how it is. Well, welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. That's not a very good start. Here, let's get zoomed in properly. There we go. And we're going to need a new tractor because this thing doesn't have enough to get up these hills. Now, we don't have enough to get a new tractor. But I did download one new mod, which we haven't done in a while. Yeah, I mean, you know, the fog is the fog. You know, this is what Giants wants. Giants wants you to not be able to see more than 5 feet in front of your tractor. Giants built it this way. So, mushroom-funded equipment. You know, we should sell all our mushrooms and see how much money we get from it. I think we had this exact same problem last time we tried to harvest this field and went out and leased a tractor. Which was like, you know, 4 months ago in-game, but actually here also 4 months ago because we haven't been on this map in a while. See, we're stuck. We can't even get up the field. We are dead in the water. Let's turn off the PTO. And maybe we can make it up the hill without the PTO. Now granted, this big behemoth of a trailer thing is supposed to weigh a lot. I know that. It's the way it's supposed to be. And the fact that this tractor can't pull it is pretty, I'm assuming, pretty accurate. You know. Yeah, the fog. You know, I don't... I mean, it's so annoying. Don't get me wrong. I definitely don't like the fog. It's super annoying as far as I'm concerned. But... you know, in some ways, this series is about playing the game in some way, kind of how Giants wants us to play it. You know, that's the wrong button. Yeah, so the fog height and density is just. I mean, I can understand from a fog perspective. Tony's right. I can understand from a fog and density perspective that, you know, that you're gonna have fog. That makes sense. And fog is supposed to be, you know, around water. I pressed the button for the locking of the tracks. It's supposed to be there, and I get that. I understand it, but enough is enough. That's okay. We're just doing spinach because it was on this field. We might actually merge these two fields. Um, Now that it's the end of the year, we might plow them and merge them. That makes sense. Having two fields here doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense. And there are crops, and I don't mind putting spinach back in. Spinach has been entertaining at least. I don't even think we have a plow yet. So we'll have to figure that out. And then we're going to, again, use this same harvester for the sugar beets. Since it is technically a multi-fruit harvester. We're going to probably make it through the entire stream being stuck in this... Where am I? Being stuck in this fog. Hey, A Farm Garage, how are you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. The Fog of War. Wrong one. What the heck is going on? Yeah. Wait, hold on. We don't want that out. But if this is the way Giants wants it, that's fine. It's the way Giants gets it, you know? And yeah, I saw that all of the content creators were playing Project Motor Racing or whatever it's called today. That's cool. Have fun. played enough driving games. I don't nearly need another one. Plus, you know, the next driving game that we will be playing here on this channel with my trucking wheel is going to be Roadcraft. So that will be something we can do in a month or two, I think. Isn't it May? Maybe it's a month. Oh my gosh, it's already April, so that means it's almost May. Which means Roadcraft is coming out soon. Or is it already May? What am I watching? Almost May, like tomorrow. Shows how in tune I am with the calendar and schedules and months. Nice. Maybe we'll just give up on Farm Sim and play everything else. No, we're not going to do that. I'm just kidding. I just haven't been, you know... We've been getting lots of implements and stuff getting released on ModHub. You guys have been seeing that, I'm sure, with all the modders. Getting their stuff released. I'm going to be in the testing list as soon as possible for my next mod, or mods, plural. Got a couple new ones coming out. Stuff you guys have been waiting for, nothing exciting or new. Mainly because there's been actually a lot of really creative mods this year. A lot of people have started taking up the mantle and doing things that I've done in the past, and in some cases doing them better, which is really great to see. Yeah, I'm enjoying Icarus, excluding the polar bears. And, you know, the polar bears aren't even that bad. I don't want to complain too much. I just haven't figured out the right pattern for fighting them. You know, maybe I just have to go get a semi-automatic weapon or something. Or get, like, explosive bullets. Which are all things you can do. Fire-tipped bullets. Which I can figure out how to make and then make. Maybe, you know, setting the polar bear on fire is a great idea. I don't know. We will conquer the polar bear. And the other thing we're going to have to conquer soon, not sure when yet, but soon, is because we're going to have to conquer on Icarus, we're going to have to conquer the desert biome. Now, the reason we don't have to conquer it, but we have to at least go inside the desert biome, because the desert biome has sand. Obviously, it's a desert. But sand is a crafting component. And we need sand to make glass. And a lot of the next tier stuff in Icarus has glass as one of its ingredients. You can't make glass until you go to the desert. This thing is not super fun to back up. Or I just wasn't paying attention. You guys can decide which one's true. How's everyone doing? One question I asked, and I asked it in the chat, the description below, is I think a lot of people, for myself included, a lot of people are waiting on something, right? And we're seeing a lot of the maps come out. We're seeing maps and new tools and implements and yada, yada, yada. We're seeing lots of stuff come out. But the question is, what are you waiting for? Like, what is exciting for you? Yes, Tony is for sure waiting on his map to get released, which is going to be great. But what is everyone else waiting for? Is everyone else waiting for Tony's map too? Tony's map looks awesome, by the way. can't figure out those new crops? Uh-oh. Well, I was working with the guy you were talking to, and supposedly we had it figured out, but if it's still not figured out yet, let me know and I'll come in and help. I'm happy to help out. I thought we figured it out, but could be wrong. Oh. Where's your foghorn? Yeah, I don't know. You know, in all honesty, the foghorn is probably the next DLC. We're going to have to make sure we pay for a foghorn to be able to tell where we're going in this intense fog. A lighthouse with a foghorn. That would make a good DLC, right? Definitely not fixed. All right. I'll look at it. I'll look at it probably tomorrow, Tony. Have the guy you were working with send me the latest copy. Driving, like, when you're making turns like that and getting on the wheel to full lock actually feels, like, legit. It's one of the few times where, it, like, you know, the rest of it is okay for the wheel. Driving around town is really great with the wheel. But it's like when you're making turns, you end up going to full lock and you feel the steering wheel lock. And then you feel it come back. I think it's just super cool. I would agree with that, Tony. That we're a few months away from good maps coming out. I would agree. I mean, you gotta think about it this way, right? The game's been out for, what, 6 months now? And they've changed the game engine a bunch since it came out. Last I heard, there's some stuff messed up still with Giant's editor and pre-placed buildings. I think I heard that was messed up in the last update. I haven't touched map making at all in at least a month. I'm just kind of waiting for things to settle down. And I've been focusing on some other stuff. Namely, the mods that I have left to release. Getting those ready to go. We're not going to be able to get it very much because it's going to be full in a second. But yeah, I think we're a couple months away, just because you have to think about it. Like, making maps just takes so much time. And as I've said in a lot of my map tours and stuff like that, one of the things I look forward to is the details. And it's those details that take all the time. Setting up a map with some fields and some buildings and starting equipment and putting down some productions isn't really, especially with the tools we have these days, not super hard. But when you get into the details, that's where it starts to take a lot of time. And I think that because we know how long it takes to make maps, it's going to take that long for map makers, new or existing map makers, to kind of figure out the new systems so that they can continue to make maps with the level of detail that we've all come to know and love. That's going to take time. No matter how you look at it, it's going to take time. I can't even see where the crops are, barely. If I didn't have these lines here, I wouldn't even know where to go, because This fog is ridiculous. I'm gonna speed up the time a little bit just to get out of fog time of day. But who knows? Giants is probably gonna let it be foggy all day, and then we'll get a tornado, and that'll be awesome because there's tornadoes. There's totally tornadoes in Asia. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think we're seeing it right now, right? Hutan is like Giants' test bed for showing how amazing fog looks. Like, this is the map. They're like, oh my god, check out this awesome volumetric fog we created. We're the best ever. Be proud of us, buy our game. God rays, God rays, God rays. So my question is, for those who actually have watched the Project Motor Racing videos, I haven't watched them. How many times did they mention God rays in the Project Motor Racing videos? How many times? Fog should be gone. I have the time set. I'll fast forward even more. Let's just get out of it. No God rays. Okay. Fog's not gone. 9 o'clock. 10 a.m. Still fog. Why is there still fog at 10 a.m.? Permafog. Yeah. Pretty much. And it's only on this farm, too. Oh, look, it's clearing a little bit. Finally, I can see my field. So one other thing I saw announced today or yesterday from Giants, and I don't know if you guys have any information on this. Tony might have some information on this. But what's this whole thing about the community team, join the community team or something like that? What is that? Does anyone know? I read it, but I still don't understand it. Like, I read the article. Is that all it is, Tony? I just did. But isn't the ambassador program already what we're on? Like, for, like, does it still have the YouTube subs, the number of subs requirement, or is it actually truly a community post? Like, is it actually something different? Am I full? I don't even know what ambassador is then. Then I am misinformed and I don't even know what the ambassador program is. But if all they're doing is rebranding a program they already have, then I'm less than excited. Either way, with precision farming coming soon, I see what McGarrett is commenting on that. With precision farming coming soon, I do agree. I imagine that they're going to be breaking the game more. If you remember when for 22, when precision farming first came out, it did break a bunch of stuff, and they had to release multiple patches to it because it didn't work the way they expected. Most of the equipment worked the way they expected because, you know, John Deere was probably paying big money for that inclusion. But some of the inner game functionality didn't work as expected. And with the 1.7 patch, one of the things they did fix, which I was actually pretty excited about, is the grass. We've been mowing the grass on this map and on this playthrough like every other month. Because the old way of doing it, or the way the game was for 1.6 and earlier, was there was no difference in yield between green big, which is the way it is in the code, and harvest ready. There was no difference. So we've been just mowing extra. So we have extra grass, and we probably have a lot of silage to sell. To be able to buy some more land. We could probably do that today too. But yeah. How long have I had my Moza wheel? I got my Moza wheel around Christmas. Sometime in that area. I don't remember whether it came before or after Christmas. It was not a Christmas present. It sort of was, I guess. We had a team building competition at work, and my team won. And we won some prize money, and I spent my prize money on the wheel. And I've only used it for this game and Roadcraft. No, I don't know the lifespan on it yet. Nope. I will say that I have played with the Logitech wheels in the past. Not necessarily now, but in the past. Actually, let's see what the going rate on spinach. Is this spinach? Let's see what the going rate on spinach is. Spinach. The high is going to be... It's not much of a... Look at the difference, though. 251 versus 246. And if we go to our bulk fill station, we can sell it for 295. So... And do we have more? It should say whether we have any more. We don't have any more. So let's just go ahead and sell it. We're going to go ahead and drive across the map. Sell this at our bulk fill station, because I don't want it. But I will say, I have played with the other wheels. And one of the reasons that I did choose to get the Moza wheel versus like the Logitech or the Thrustmaster wheels is the build quality. This whole thing is, everything is, the only thing that's plastic is the face frame. But there's aluminum underneath the face frame of the wheel. You can feel it. You can feel it in the heft and the weight of this thing. It's solid. The base of it is all machined aluminum. All the mounting brackets, everything is aluminum. The connection points are all aluminum. And the coolest part about it is that you can hot swap the wheel. So let's say I wanted to play this new Project Motor Racing game. Hypothetical. I don't want to. But let's say, for argument's sake, that I did want to play it. Right? If I wanted to play it, I could just take this wheel, grab it like this, pull the lever, and take the wheel off, and put another like an actual racing wheel on, as long as I was able to mount this, as long as I was able to mount my wheel in a way that could feel more like sim racing. I don't want to sim race with this gigantic truck wheel, but if I get like one of the small sim racing wheels and I had a sim racing rig, you could easily swap between them. This is empty. This is filled. Oh, let's just do that. I'm going to change my keybinds real quick. I just thought of a cool keybind. Controls. Vehicle. Where's R? There. No. Enable carriage follow mode? What the hell is that? Pull winch rope? No. Pet use object? No. Dump is I. Where's Phil? Phil is R, right? The letter R? Where's the keybind for that? Seriously? Yeah, R. Where's, like, I'm supposed to hit R to select a silo. So I'm looking for something that has R bound to it. Use object, maybe? That one? Oh, I guess we'll use that. Silage, start. I currently have this thing set up to hold around 70,000 liters. Something like that. We'll drive over to the temple, see how the temple's doing. You know, one thing that I've been missing? I was hoping Mac Trucker was going to release his drop deck. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to stage this thing right here on the edge of this field, because this sugar beet field is our task next time. And the only reason we still have this harvester leased is because we know that we have to do this sugar beet field. So there. Alright, let's go get our cultivator, because we have a cultivating mission to do. The fog is still sticking around, which is fine. Let's check our contracts. Any more cultivating ones? Which is the one we have? Farmland 9. It's right there in the middle. On the sides. 41's a nice big one. We'll do that one too. Hopefully we can sell some stuff and make some money so that we can, whoops. Last thing we bought was that loader right there. Let's see if I can remember how to reverse. Why am I... My keybind for turning the tracks off wasn't working. What's going on, Ridiculous Dominic? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. We're having some fun on Hutan Pantai, seeing if we can survive Hutan Pantai. We're just basically have to survive long enough to build the temple, and we need to set up 3 farms. So this is our first farm, and then we're going to do all 3 of the base game farms. This one, the one in the middle, and the one on the other side. And each farm has to produce something. So this farm is... Let me get out of your way, dickhead. This farm is producing... this current farm is going to be producing mushrooms. That's its export. And each farm has to produce something. The next farm, this one right here on our left, we're going to turn it into a dairy farm. And it will connect to the dairy, so we'll end up getting the dairy production. We'll set up some dairy farms with some cows and some custom fields, I think. That'll be kind of fun. And then the original farm is going to be a rice farm. So we're going to have a bunch of rice fields, both the floodable rice fields and the long grain rice. We'll do both kinds of rice fields. And that'll be exciting. Where am I going? I'm totally going the wrong way. It would help if I had my map up. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Concrete AI cars, yeah. You know, the only thing that I'm actually hopeful for with this whole Project Motor Racing thing, I really hope that they can use that to make the AI smarter. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing quite like a racing game level AI. Right? AI that's good enough to race against you in a racing game of some kind, right? To me, that's like the epitome of AI. That's where you want to get to if you are a game developer, right? You want to be able to make racing game AI. Right? So, I'm hoping that by having a second property, or a second game, using the Giants engine, Giants can take some learnings from that and be like, oh, well, you guys figured out really good AI. Can we use it in Farm Sim? Or some cars that aren't concrete, and then like when you bang into them, you guys actually have accidents where the car just like gets yeeted out of your way or something like that, right? Yeah, no, I know. I know Giants is just the publisher. I know, but we can hope, right? We can only hope. I like to at least try to be hopeful with all this stuff going on and not be always negative. Though I'm pretty good at being negative. What was it? You never know. You never know. You never know. I got a question for you guys, and you guys can share your answers in chat. Now that if the game's been out for a while, and I, like most of you, I've gone back and played 22 and kind of compared the two. What's your like top 5 list of, or just the 5 things that come to mind? 3 things, whatever. How about that? We'll do 3. Tell me in chat what are the 3 things that come to mind that you think are improvements to gameplay, or improvements to some aspect of the game that you were surprised at. Not just like, oh, the graphics are better. Like, that's just automatic, right? But like, what are the improvements that you've seen to the game? The things that you think have actually made the game better or look better or whatever. Like, what are the top things in your list? I'll share mine, but what are the things on your list? I'll say one of the things that... I'll start with the things that haven't made the game better. I'm going to start there. So the fog hasn't made the game better. It's made it annoying. I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but it hasn't affected gameplay at all. It's just eye candy. You know, fog, god rays, you know, that stuff, whatever. It's just eye candy. It doesn't affect gameplay. It doesn't affect the way the game is played. So, not so much. I don't think the storms that they added add anything to the game at all. I think that was a complete waste of time. And a complete waste of effort, and a complete waste of developer resources. Yes, it does bring a little bit of immersion into the game, if you ever see them. But for the most part, you don't see them, and you don't necessarily take damage, and you can turn it off. Like, I don't know, I just don't feel like it adds very much to the game. And then the other thing I'm still going to harp on, because it's still not really working right, is the way that they've set up this game for being customized from a map-making perspective. On one hand, they made some things easier, but then they also made a lot of other things harder or impossible. And they took away some of the tools that map makers had previously, that they don't have anymore. And you know, some of those they've come back, they've fixed it. Like the custom crop calendars. I think I just saw the first map to hit Mod Hub. What was it? One of the Polish maps, Limpinki, got an update where that did actually have custom crop calendars for a couple of the crops, which is the first map to actually be able to do that. So that's cool. But they made it harder. But from a gameplay perspective, I don't know. I think from a gameplay perspective, I have to think about that. The gameplay perspective, I actually like the realism that's afforded by the way that ground deformation happens. I actually think that was worth the time and worth the effort, even especially considering ground deformation in terms of like compacting silage. I think that whole system is way better. I think it changes the gameplay elements. It makes it feel more realistic. Being able to compact things that you're driving over really adds a lot to the game, and I actually really enjoy that. One thing that I haven't tested yet because even though we're in year 2, I haven't played on a map that actually has a lot of snow. But I'm hoping, and I haven't seen it yet, I'm hoping that the snow compaction works just as good as the regular compaction everywhere else. But other than that, I think that they did push that doctrine during a lot of the testing. I do enjoy the ground deformation. I think it's one of the ground deformation. The movable, placeable system. See, but that's not Giants. Giants didn't add a movable placement system. A developer added that. That's not a Giants thing. Right? That was someone else releasing a mod that allows you to move placeables. One of the other things that, from like a modding perspective, since we're talking about it, I do like how the new coloring and texturing systems work. I think that's a great addition. I love the fact that every player, through a Giants-based mod, can completely customize almost any vehicle to any color they want. It's this rainbow of colors. The downside is I think that Giants still doesn't understand that people want to customize, and they don't understand that people don't always necessarily want a Case IH tractor to be Case IH red. And I understand they have brand deals and stuff like that, but I think that the modding community has shown that we want to be able to customize the look and feel of our tractors, and not just between two predictable colors. We want to pick whatever color we want. If you look at any racing game anywhere that has cars in it, they all have completely customizable color schemes. Sometimes with skins, sometimes with other things like that, but it's always completely customizable. But for some reason, and I'm assuming it's because of partner deals and whatnot, yada yada yada, Giants hasn't done that. They haven't done the full customization yet, which I think is a bummer. Because I think they're missing out. But I do think once you get into the color customizing system and you get into actually modding and manipulating materials the way they're doing the new system, I actually like it a bit. It's different. But I think that it pushes modders to be more intentional about how they're defining colors in vehicles and how vehicles or parts of vehicles share colors or don't share colors. It pushes modders to be more intentional. But, you know, just like everything else, modders can still just do it completely wrong and still make a mess of things. But, you know, it is what it is. But I do like that at least we're getting customizing colors on some stuff. Maybe not everything, but some stuff, for sure. Yeah. And I think that goes back to exactly what I just said, Bearded Geek. Bearded Geek saying he doesn't like the ground deformation on modded maps because some modded map makers are being like, oh, we have ground deformation. Let's turn this up to 99 and then let people suffer. I think that the ground deformation, the default levels, is fine. And it's playable. It does give you a little bit of stickiness. It gives you a little bit of challenge. But I agree, there are some map makers who, just like anything, will take the ability to customize and go crazy with it. And I'm, in some ways, alongside them. Hell, I'm driving a truck right now that I customized and modded to have a capacity that's completely unreal. That's just because that's the way I want to play. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to do what they want with it, whether they want to play realistic or not. And I think that's what makes this game great, is because anyone can play any way they want. I'm gonna pause right here for a second. I'm gonna go over to this harvester who's okay. I'm just making sure this dude is still moving because it looked like it said 46% for a while. Yeah, and yes, I agree, McGarrett. They still haven't given us documentation. I've been harping on the documentation since day one. I feel like I'm going to be harping on it until Farm Sim 30. Seriously. Giants has to really get with it as far as documentation is concerned. If they want the modding community to do things right, and they want the modding community to fully realize the vision of vehicles and equipment and productions and everything else being moddable, don't make us reverse engineer what you've put into the base game just to figure out how it works. That takes time. That's a wasted effort. Write some documentation. Giants still refuses to write documentation. They promised us documentation. They promised us modding tutorials with us release the game, and then they didn't give us those modding tutorials until what, February or March, instead of releasing them at the beginning of the game. And not only that, those tutorials call out documentation, which still doesn't exist yet. So write your damn documentation. You're going to release code for a game, you have to give documentation. That's just how it works. So write your dang documentation. Hey Raznak, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for jumping in. And by the way, welcome in Kicking Bird. I saw you come in. Welcome to the channel. I haven't seen you around before. Thank you for joining. We don't need this full map anymore. That's not the right button. Which is the right button? There's the button for the map. $249. How much is this field? I wanted to finish buying this corner, and I want to buy 43. I need this one. This one. 281. Oh, we'll be able to buy this field soon. And I'll have... This farm is going to be everything from the highway over. So we're going to do 42 and 43. We're going to buy those fields. What is 42? What is this? Red beet and ready to harvest. You know, actually, I think you'd make your money back if we bought that field now and harvested it. I think we might actually make our money back. What do you guys think? Should we go ahead and buy that field? Like, the only harvester we have is a root crop harvester, which can harvest all of the root crops. But if we bought that field right now, we could harvest it right now. And with that harvester, it wouldn't take very long. You think we'd actually make 71,000 back? Yeah, let's try it. Tired of driving silage. Though, barreling down these maps, being able to use a gas pedal and brakes, apex the corners and my silage truck is actually pretty fun. Alright, let's buy that field. So, where were we? We're going to buy this field. Buy. Yes. And... No. 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 47 includes that. Okay. So, this one is still 281. We have 200 now. Question is, after we harvest that field, will we have enough money to buy the next field? All in one day. We got plenty of time. I'm tired of driving over here because there's so much fog. So, let's go where there isn't any fog. Or where there's less fog. And go from there. By the way, if I ever played a racing game, I'm going to drive just like this in the racing game too. I'm going to be all over the place, crashing into people. Whole nine. How do I turn this thing off? There it is. Oh, you know what? Let's lease a tractor. Because we don't have, because we were having problems pulling that thing anyways. So I'm gonna say let's lease a tractor. I did download a new tractor today, which I wanted to try out. We're doing a bunch of fast tracks, and we really like the 4,000 icon. Let's see how the 8,000 icon does. We're gonna get the chipped version, I guess. I'm just seeing what they have for options. Strobes. And whoever makes these, thank you very much for letting me customize the colors of everything. That makes me happy. And then license plate, and then we're going to go to type 2 and back only. Okay, and we're going to lease this. Why not? Let's go do another tractor. I haven't actually used this tractor. I literally just downloaded it today, so let's check it out. And as always, this thing is beautiful. Exactly. Where in the world is it actually still have fog at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? By the way, we should slow down the time a little bit, or else we're not going to be able to finish this. We're not going to be able to finish this field that we just bought before it gets dark. Connect. I was just feathering the gas pedal, trying to get around that corner. Make everything, oops, class green or Fent blue. Yeah, I make everything hella black. Hella black is my color scheme. I can't believe the Giants let me. So by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, and I'm sure you have, by most people in here if it is, but if you're new, you haven't seen it, I do have multiple mods out on ModHub for FS25, one of which is one of my first vehicles for FS25, which is the Bednar Batwing. And the Bednar Batwing is a mower version of the Bednar MM7000. Whoops, turning the wheels the wrong way. The MM7000 mulcher from Giants. I'm just gonna go dump in this thing myself. But updated to do all kinds of mowing and all kinds of stuff, right? Mowing and mulching and stump grinding. It's like the bee's knees of mowers. I like to think it is. I hope you think it is too. Am I too far? I must be too far. from my truck. Oh, there it goes. I hear it kicking off. Anyways, as part of the Bednar Batwing, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but if you go in to customize it, there's like 6 versions of Hella Black. Do I have it in here? I don't even know if I have it on this playthrough. Yeah. So if you go in the Bednar Batwing, this is my mower. This is just the MM7000, has all kinds of cool features. But if you look, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 custom Hella Black colors. And Hella Black is basically 0, 0, 0. So it's like as black as you can get, but then different old, matte, metallic, rough, scratched, galvanized plastic, right? With all of, like, the materials, like 10 of the materials that I liked, whatever. For your perusal in making your Batwing as black as possible. Because, you know, if Bruce Wayne's going to paint it, he's going to paint it hella black. I mean, that's just how it is. Come on. That's why it's called the Batwing. Anyways. But the part that I was surprised at was that Giants accepted the color hella black with the translations for hella black into German, Italian, French, and Polish, I think, were all the translations that I got in there. But, like, they accepted it, like, as total valid translations. I was so surprised they did that. Like, that they allowed it. I didn't think they were going to allow it. I thought they were going to block it just because of that. And that I was going to be told to redo to rename it to just say black. And some of my translators, the people who were helping me with the translations, were like, I really don't know what to put here because hella doesn't really exist as a word in any other language. So can I just call it like extremely or very, very? So I had to work with the translators to get it translated in such a way that we could actually have translations. But I thought that was hilarious. And I love the fact that it's in the game that I got the word hella into the game. And I also got the word redonkulous into the game. So it will be coming into the game again. In FS22, I got the word redonkulous into the game because the next mod that I have releasing is going to be the VPW. Right? And the VPW does have a redonkulous capacity setting. Which is redonkulous. And they actually allow that word in the game. And I think the reality of it, I think, is just the fact that as long as the translation in German is translated to something that sort of makes sense, they don't care what it actually is. They don't care. I really don't think they do. I know, Dom. Hey, CBW, welcome in. Thanks for being here. But yeah, that's going to be my next challenge, is getting BBW to pass Giants testing. That's going to be my next big monumental effort. Because, you know, the Batwing was in testing for 112 days. That's not a long time. We're making a killing on these sugar beets. I don't have follow me yet, so I don't have follow me set up. Probably should be going around this thing on counterclockwise, just because that way I'm not having to drive in the crops to empty. But I don't care. Oh, that'd be cool. Dom, go for it. Just remember, you're going to have to say those words and spell them over and over and over anytime you talk to banking or financial institutions. And you're going to have to explain to them every time what that word means. So just a heads up. When you do name your company something that doesn't make sense or is slightly out of norm, you will have to put up with that forever. And one thing I've learned over time is that sometimes banks don't get the joke. Get this little corner piece here. Some clever reversing. Yes, Dom's plow is amazing, and I don't even know if I have it on this playthrough, but I might. But we're gonna need a plow soon because these two fields to our left we're gonna have to plow, and we're gonna have to plow this field, so we might as well get Dom's plow sooner than later. So these are red beets. How much are red beets selling for? Let's go look. Red beets are selling for 183 per 1,000 liter. And the high points in January. So we're going to store them, I think. We're going to store them until January because they'll go up in price. So we're going to store them. That's the plan. Let's get the pipe on the outside. Yeah, Dom's plow is the only plow I use. Sometimes I'll use a different plow if I'm playing some kind of a thematic playthrough, and there is a different plow out there that follows that playthrough, like on my my Middleburg series for FS22. I was using a bunch of John Deere plows and stuff like that, and some discs and stuff like that. And those are fun, and those are fun for a change of pace. But if I want easy and I want reliable, Dom's plow's where it's at. There we go. Oh, welcome in, Outlaw. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining the stream. Aw. Thanks, CBW. The only non-name branded mods. That's very nice of you, CBW. Oh wait. I just saw this. Let's fold it up. And the next field we have a contract on is like right here, so it's not that far away. Hoeing field 5. Oh. This is one of those contracts that I don't like. And I've never understood this. So maybe someone can help me and understand if it's just still a Giants bug or am I crazy? For this field that I just drove across, field 5, there is a crop in that field. Right? Let's just hire a worker and look at the field. Help me understand here. Field 5, right? It has a crop. It's barley, right? It has a crop. And if we go to growth, it is in the first stage of growth, very first stage of growth, which is the planted stage. So they just planted it. And there are no weeds in the field, right? There are no weeds. Why do I have a contract to hoe that field? I don't understand that at all. Like that, to me, that doesn't make sense at all. You should only get contracts for weeding on fields that have weeds. Like 14 has weeds. Like, I don't understand. Like, Giants, please help me understand. Why? Why? Why are you making me weed a field that has no weeds? It doesn't make sense. Is this full? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take the contract, and I'll hire a worker to drive over an empty field and run a tool on an empty field for no reason whatsoever. And you can pay me for it. But I mean, I went and looked at the code. I know where in the code it's broken. I can't tell them that. That would be wrong. And they all they would do is just close my bug report too. They've done that before. They like to close bug reports without actually fixing them. I'm getting a headache. They like to close bug reports without actually fixing them, just because they were reported on an old version. So when they release new versions every month, they just close all their old bug reports. They don't actually fix anything. And they make us, as the people who reported them, just open a new ticket with the same information, make us be the one to retest it. But, okay. So does this map have a canning facility? This is one of my neat gameplay features that I like. I really like the way the new production screens work. Specifically this, where they have a listing of all of the factories you can buy on the map, and you can quickly just visit them. And you can visit them and just see, okay, how much is this to buy? Like, I could take the canning factory, and I could buy the canning factory for $330 if I had the money. That is cool. I love being able to quickly see what productions there are, and like what, not only that, but what recipes those productions have, what the outputs of them are. I love that. I think that's super awesome. And something totally different. We're going to eventually have to get the canning factory because I want to make the cool stuff that's unique to Hutan Pantai, which includes all those noodle soups and stuff like that. So we're going to have to get the canning factory to help with that process at some point. But nonetheless, I think that's super cool. That's one of those things that we were talking about earlier, about stuff that I think has made the game better. That's one of the improvements to the systems that I think has made the game better. Now, granted, it's still not fixed. Right? It's still not fixed. And what I mean by that is, that the production screen assumes a lot of things. And the way they've changed productions, they assume all recipes are only one output. Everyone notice that? So if you have a recipe that has more than one output, you can't set that recipe to distributing, because it only distributes the first item. It doesn't distribute both items. It only distributes the first item. So if there's a secondary output, like fermenters, right? Like, I don't like that you can't see that. Like, you can see, if you don't own it, you can see the recipes, but if you do own it, you can't see the recipes anymore. Like, that's, to me, that's or am I just have to scroll? Wait, hold on. Maybe I just need to scroll. Oh, so you can see. But see how this one has an extra output? I can't set this to selling or set it to distributing because there's two outputs, and it doesn't distribute the second one. There's no way to get the second one out of the building. So I think that's a bummer, and that is a misstep. I think that the old system, where you choose like each output, like if I have 4 recipes that are making silage, and I set one of them to distributing, then all 4 recipes are getting distributed, which doesn't make sense. So I think that the outputs themselves, you should be able to distribute, not just the recipes. Setting a recipe to distribute doesn't make sense. I think the red beets look better. This is my first time seeing the red beets in 25. I think they do look better. A little bit. It's my field. I can drive across it if I want to. Send it. And there we go. There's our new field. We didn't make back any money right away just because, well, we're going to save the stuff and sell it in January. So we're saving the crops from this field just to make sure more we... Yeah. Your computer wants to overheat? I'm sorry about that. That stinks, Chad. Yeah, I was running 25 on my older computer for a couple weeks while my new one was getting fixed. And it was running full bore with all the fans on. But at the same time, I will have to admit, I've even run FS25 on my... I have a MacBook Pro that I use for software development. I've even run FS25 on the MacBook. And the MacBook doesn't even have a graphics card. Like, it doesn't have a 3D graphics card. And it plays the game pretty dang well on high. Like, with all, like, the, just high. On a MacBook Pro. Like a 2000, maybe a 2021 MacBook Pro. I think it's an M1 chip, I think. Maybe. It might be the precursor to the M1 chip, but I think it's an M1. But it plays it fairly well, surprisingly. Which I was very, very surprised at. So, I mean, the game does play, but I think when you set it on ultra or set it on high, like I do, I'm sure a lot of you do, it does play pretty smoothly. But I agree with CBW. It is a video hog. Oh, look at this. You almost don't need the weight. We're going to get the weight anyways. Oh, look, I do have Dom's plow. See, it's right there. I totally forgot. We must have gotten it for a contract. And at $4,000, it's a nice... less expensive option for doing contracts with a great plow. There's supposed to be a hotkey to do this, but it's not working. I don't know why. Alright, well now I have 3 fields to plow. And I have a field to go hoe. And I think I could actually... There we go. I'm a great driver. Not really. Let's hire that guy. Let's go... Not to the mower. A mower's not going to do us any good. Let's go here. Let's see if this thing can pull the plow. And if we have to turn it around, we will. But this thing... Let's see if this can pull the plow. I don't know, Dom, do you think this little tractor can pull your plow? It's only got like 170 horsepower or something like that. Oh, the plow's already backwards. Let's try it. Let's try to see if it pulls it forwards. Just for the fun of it. What are you doing? Alright. Giants were complaining about the horsepower needed, that it was too low. Yeah, well. That's Giants for you. Unfold. There we go. And it's 3:30 in the afternoon. We still have fog. Thank you, Giants, for making the game so realistic. There we go. It works well. Get my camera angle set up right. Nope. Right about there, I think. And then Control Y. It's not doing it. One. Oh, just Y. What the hell's going on here? Limit to fields. Allow create fields. I'm allowing creating fields. Why did it not? Why is it not mowing the grass? You see that? Like, I'm creating fields, but it's not letting me... Like, create fields is on right now. But it's not working. Giants. Seriously? Oh, cool. Thank you very much, Rabid Rob, for joining the stream, and thank you to Gold Gaming for coming in and hanging out in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. There's 21 awesome people in the chat. Thank you so much for coming along and enjoying my little live stream. I only get to do this about once a week, but thank you very much for joining in. And watching me struggle through a little bit of farming. And struggle with Giants' inability to actually have maps that work. You count as 3 people, at least in buffet. That's great. Raz, thank you. Thank you for that. So here's the question right now. And I don't know if we're going to be able to solve it. But if I turn on create fields, right now create fields is on, right? You notice that's not plowing the grass. Why is it not plowing through the grass? There's so many things that just baffle me. I thought that was fixed. Wasn't that like a problem that happened a while back, like at the beginning of the game, that was reported and fixed? Yeah, they do, because I fixed them. I mean, we can confirm. I think I fixed them. Yeah, see? It's making a field across. It's just not getting rid of the grass. Like the plow, and I don't have the mulching plow. So I don't know if that's part of it. I mean, it's a spinach field. Should I have mulched it? I don't even know. But it plowed straight across, so it knows. It knows that it was plowed. So we're going to do this. We're going to come across here. We're going to hit Y to turn create fields on. And I'm going to plow straight across. Merge these fields, which I don't believe the base game lets you do. I fixed these fields. It might have. I don't remember. Someone else can tell me if they have Hutan Pantai. I guess I'll have to work on that after stream and try to figure out why this ungodly inconsistency is happening. Why does this map not allow me to paint through it? Now, to be fair, and I will be fair, this is not the original version of Hutan Pantai. Right around release 1.2, I edited this map for my own liking. I'm not going to edit it again. So if they have changed something on the map in the base game files, I am not playing that version of the map. I'm playing my own version of the map. So if there is something that I need to update that I don't know about, please let me know. And I will definitely update the appropriate files. But if I have to paint on this thing and replow it or whatever, I will. I'm going to have to stone pick this field, of course. But it just seems a little strange that with create field on, which is what I have on right now, it's plowing the dirt. You can see it plowing the dirt. but it's not touching. It's not destroying the grass. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. I am merging these two fields together, so that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I'm excited about. And then we'll be able to replant these things in the springtime, I think. And we'll do spinach again, because we actually, one of these fields was spinach, one of them was peas. And so we may do those same crops again, just for the sake of it. Because we got time. And let's do this. Now we can do here. That should be fine. Yep. Cool. Let's look at our field. Yeah, see, we're emerging. We're emerging through. There's a little bit here on the edges I might have to clean up. I think I missed a couple bits on the edge. That's cool. Yeah, see, I'm enjoying the new crops as long as I don't have to use the new equipment. Right? And so actually, that's even more reason to put spinach down again. Because I might have a secret coming up soon for spinach. So we'll see. I have an idea for something cool to do with spinach, but I have to finish doing it to see if it works. So we'll definitely plant spinach so that we'll be able to test my idea live on the internet. Oh, I missed this bit. Can you paint over the grass, erase it with base ground texture? Let's find out. So let's test it. There's no reason not to test it right now. Let's test it. So we're going to come in here. We're going to paint. Go to paint mode, construction. And we're going to come over here with paint texture. There. Paint. Painting gets rid of the grass. And then I should be able to merge fields. So yeah, painting will get rid of it. It's just very, very odd that the plow doesn't get rid of it. Like, to me, that's super odd. Especially around the, like, the edge of the field. Because I feel like I plowed up over the edge a couple places. Right? And now I'm paying for ground painting as well as, you know, which sucks because that means I have to pay for this. But it does appear to be working. Good call, McGarrett. Was that McGarrett? And then we should be able to just go across here. No problem. Cool. All right, well, I'll do that. Select the grass and right-click erase it. You know, I don't think I've ever done right-click in painting mode. I'm sure that's a thing. I've just never done it. So when using this plow, this is my favorite way to use this plow. I don't like to have to pull it up. When I'm using this plow, I just back up like this. I make a little like clover leaf. I go back into my lane. I don't even have to lift the plow. I like to do a J turn. Is that a J turn? Oh, and actually, here's something to note. I don't know if you guys can see this. If you look at the mini map, here's something weird. This map, right, which is the crop types map. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. So crop types map is showing the plowed state. Growth is showing the plowed state. But on the mini map doesn't show it when I merge fields if the meadow is there. Do you see that? The mini map isn't showing the update. That's kind of weird. Do I care? No. It's just a fun thing to note. Yeah. And that's like one of those tricks that has... McGarrett, that's one of those tricks that's worked for a long time. So for some maps... there's a lot of deco crops or deco ground textures, which are not... They're not mowable, and you can't get rid of them in any other way. And the trick that a lot of console players use, because PC players, we can do a lot of things that console players can't do. But one of the tricks that a lot of console players will use, and they've been using for a while, in both 19 and 22, I don't know about before that, is to either just do what I just did, where you're painting with the paintbrush and then plowing, or you are painting with meadow, like you paint down like a short meadow, and then when you paint down the short meadow, that overwrites the meadow that was already there, which allows you to plow it. Which is probably the case of what's happening, in that the map was painted with one type of meadow, but the map will default grow a different type of meadow. So it's not the same exact meadow because of the way Giants is handling meadow now. And that's probably what's causing this. But we'll see. At least we're able to plow over our field, and we're able to merge our fields, and then we'll have to do the work to get this ready for the next season. So I will probably, off stream, I'll probably come in here and stone pick, spread some lime, spread some fertilizer, get it ready for planting for next season. And then next stream will be in the month of November, and we have another harvest to do. So we have to harvest that field right there, which is sugar beets, with our special header thing that we have over here. And that'll be fun. No, Rancho Fundo was a bigger problem. And Rancho Fundo was just a typo, essentially. The map was painted with one thing, and then the XML was configured with a different thing. And so the reason why Rancho Fundo, for not everyone, and not every person gets this problem, but I got it the first time I played the map, and other people have also seen it. Whoops, wrong button. Is that they painted with, when they built the map, they painted it and decorated with Meadow US. But then in the XML file for the map, they specified Rancho, it sounds like typical sauce. They specified map EU Meadow instead of map US Meadow. So when the game was trying to parse the growth stages between the two, it couldn't figure it out and it ran into a problem. It's an easy fix. I hope the map maker fixes it. Yeah. I mean, Rancho Fundo is actually a map from 22. I didn't know that when I first saw it. I was like, oh, cool, a brand new map with all kinds of detail. Super cool. It turns out it's not actually a brand new map with all kinds of detail. It was a map that the author was working on for a long time, and they released it right at the end of FS25. At which point, I don't know if you guys remember, but I was playing Satisfactory. I wasn't even playing FS25 anymore, or playing FS22 anymore, because I was tired and waiting for... I did it again. I was waiting for this game to come out. So, you know, it is what it is. But I think that's the one thing I'm waiting for. So, we started off the conversation about, like, what's changed? What are we looking for? Why are we still surviving on this map? Well, we're going to be surviving on this map until the game comes out. I'm going to try to play it about once a month until the end of FS25. So once a month for the next couple of years, we'll play this map. Or we'll play this save or one of the next subsequent saves. I'm looking for net new, unique, detailed maps. And obviously I want to have some rolling hills, I want to have some unique features, and I want people to actually start using the engine. Right? We haven't seen anyone yet, other than PV Rivers, actually use the building system for something cool. Like, we haven't gotten any mods that are buildable yet. We haven't gotten any new construction projects. I'm waiting for somebody to come out with a construction project. A map that has a construction project on it. Even if it's something as simple as, like, another farmhouse that you can build. I can't wait for that to happen. I'm looking forward to that happening. And until it happens, I'm just not necessarily bummed or anything, but I really hope that it does happen. That's what I'm waiting for. I want a net new map that's something different. It's not just a rehash of something that was in 22 or 19 or some other earlier version of the game. I want something net new. And we've only had a very, very, very few maps that were completely net new. And most of those net new maps were wilderness maps, to be honest. Which are pretty easy to build because they don't actually contain much, because they're a wilderness map. And so that's one thing that I'm looking forward to in the overall growth development process for FS25, is I'm looking for something that's net new. Mainly because I think personally I really enjoy the discovery. And I think a lot of people do too, and I'm not the only one, but one of my favorite things with new maps and touring maps and seeing new maps and stuff like that come out is the discovery part of it. I'm seeing something that's unknown and I don't know anything about it, but I want to learn as much about it as I can. I want to find out where all the cool stuff is. I want to find what the map author has in store for me. I want that discovery. And I think that that's one thing that we've been missing thus far with most of the maps that are coming out. And not because they're not great maps. Many of them are. But there hasn't been any discovery because all of those maps are the same maps that we've had in previous versions of the game. And so I'm missing the discovery. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not giving anyone a hard time. Shush, McGarrett. I'm not being mean. I know how much hard work it is. I know because I'm trying to do it myself. I know how much hard work it's going to take. And I know how much hard work it was going to like I also know how much hard work it would take for any map maker to please me. Right? I am not saying anything without saying, I'm not saying anything that I'm not willing to put to the test myself and do that work myself. Right? I know what that work takes. I know how much work it takes. I know how hard it is. And I'm willing to put in the work. I know people like Tony in here earlier. He's willing to put in the work because he just made his first map. And he's in the middle of trying to get it released. And he knows what kind of work goes into it now because he's done it. The amount of knowledge gaining, the amount of growth, the amount of learning that goes into learning that it takes a lot. And so I do not discount that at all. I know how much work it takes. And that's why I'm not rushing it. I'm not being like, I'm not sitting here and saying, oh, I can't believe there's no net new maps yet. This sucks. I hate the world. Why are map makers being so stupid slow? I'm not saying that at all. Even though I just said it. I don't mean that at all. I was saying it in jest. Because I know, in all honesty, I don't want there to be any net new maps anytime soon. I want map makers to spend the time to make them perfect. I don't want map makers, like we've seen a couple times so far, rush maps out and rush them out just to get them out, yet they have bugs, or they're not playable, or they didn't test properly, or they don't have the features that, you know, some of the players expect, like working crops. Named like, I don't want to see net new maps yet because there hasn't been enough time to do it right. So I hope that we don't see net new maps for at least another month or two. A couple months at least. I'm hoping by the summer we see a couple net new maps that are new, that are unique, and that start to have some of these features that Giants wants to have in the game. And if anything is going to help us get there, it's going to be precision farming, honestly. And precision farming comes at a perfect time where, you know, until those net new maps are done, the players can, instead of worrying about net new maps, they can just play with all the cool features that are going to come with precision farming. And that gives them a little bit of something to... that gives players something to look forward to. But alas, that's it. That's enough of my rambling for tonight. I'm at the end of my stream time, and I hope everyone has had a great time. I want to say a special thank you to everyone who's come in. Special thank you to all the... oh my gosh. Towards the end of the stream, I always have a lot of people. 38 people in the stream now. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. If you'd like to support this channel, supporting the channel goes through memberships and donating to the channel and just being here. I love the fact that you're here, and I am so grateful for everyone for taking the time to watch the stream, to see what's going on, to listen to me ramble about all kind of crazy stuff. And I greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel through a membership or donations or anything like that, the information is either here on the screen or down below. And until next time, I'm going to catch everyone next time. Thank you very much for being here, and a special thank you to all the people who have supported the channel. Altruistic investors, always involved, awesome individuals, and amazing impact. And a special thank you to Raznak for joining the channel. Thank you, Raznak. We're sponsoring each other, buddy. Thank you to everyone who's joined and is supporting the channel, and we'll catch everyone next time. Thank you for being here. Have a great night. Bye-bye. I'm gonna make sure I save this time. Last time I didn't save. It was a mess. And we're going to jump over to BDD Gaming if you like to keep going and do a little bit of a raid. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining, and we will catch you guys next time.